from a vacation. I'm back, guys. Couldn't resist, guys. It's good to be back. Vacation was good. It was fun. My wife and I didn't fight. Today's Water Change Wednesday. New viewers, what that is, you leave a question or a comment below the video. I'll answer it out there, and then I try to answer it here. All right, so let's get right into it. Water Change Wednesday. All right. Rudra asks, and I'm going to paraphrase on this one, do you have a skimmer on the 20-gallon? And maybe this is a good time to show you the Reef Glass Skimmer that I have, how I cleaned it when I got back, and I can tell you a little bit about it. Reef Glass Skimmer is awesome. It's good for 20 and below. And yes, Rudra, I have it on the back left side of the 20-gallon, and it works great. So I usually clean it about once a week, guys. This time it went 2 weeks, so you're looking at 2 weeks of skimate there. And it's usually in the form of a T-level consistency, but it's really good. I just use a bottle brush to clean things up. Reef Glass Skimmer is just a test tube, guys, with a rubber cork in the top and some rigid air line and a lime wood air stone on the bottom. So you can see what it collects in the top. It gets quite dirty. That's about 2 weeks worth. The glass tube is simple to clean. You just shove the bottle cleaner down inside and clean it up. Use a small pipe cleaner brush to clean the holes. As you can see, you just want to make sure you keep everything clean. Put this in with the skimmer. I had another question. Sarah asked if I had a skimmer on the PICO, and no, I don't have a skimmer on that one. A few people also asked about kalkwasser in the ATO and stirs, or using power heads to stir up the kalkwasser on the bottom. And what I responded to them is this, guys. There's ATOs with like a needle or a stir in the bottom that comes on every so often, or you can turn it on, but I believe it's on a timer, and it'll stir the kalkwasser up. The problem I have with that is in small nanos, if you're stirring the kalkwasser, and should you emit some of that ATO water into your Nano when it's very cloudy like that, you're going to run the risk of super saturating your tank. For those of you who are just starting reef keeping, super saturating is putting too much kalkwasser in at one time, and your tank will get really cloudy. Sometimes it'll cloud for a moment or two, but sometimes it'll cloud longer. And the other issue is it'll potentially create a spike in your pH and your DKH. So that's why I always recommend let it settle out and then use the clear water above. I know there's lots of reefers who use a power head to stir it up or this stir, but those are probably most likely larger tanks where it can absorb that much kalkwasser at one time. I also wanted to thank you guys for the well wishes before I went away on vacation. That was really nice of you guys. Seriously. Thanks a lot. It's good to be back, guys. Getting into the swing of things after question, what, 2? All right. Reef Gaming asked a question about how many AI Prime HDs he should put over his 40-gallon breeder, I believe. It's pretty much standard, guys. You want about 18 inches of spread between lights. So if you have a 24-inch tank long, then one AI Prime is going to be kind of cutting it close on the edges. You'll get a shadowing effect that way. So I would say after 24 inches, you'll probably need 2 of any lights for that matter, with 18 inches apart. That's the standard distance. Sometimes if you go higher with the light, you can go wider, but you know I'm a fan of keeping the spread down, so I wouldn't keep it so high, just to keep the par level a little more obtainable with the light a little closer. So 18 inches apart, Reef Gaming. This next one, guys, is kind of a touchy subject. I had a viewer question about my 5-gallon and fish in there, that it's torture for the fish in a 5-gallon. So this is the way I think about it. This is my philosophy. I like to believe that I'm a conscientious reefer, but if you think in terms of fish being tortured, that would mean the fish has this thought of being tortured, like I'm being tortured. And I don't think a fish does that. However, it's not natural. But if it's not natural to keep a fish in 5 gallons, it's really not natural to keep a fish in any contained aquarium for that matter. You know, it's not the ocean, it's not the reefs. So that's the way I look at it. As long as they look healthy, they eat well, and they're not trying to jump out of the tank. In retrospect, I think I was overdoing it with 3 fish in the 5-gallon tall. You know, it's tall, the quantity of water is almost 6 gallons, but there's not much space. And my thought at first was, okay, well, they're gonna swim up and down. So I would say in a 5-gallon, no more than 2 fish in a 5-gallon tank. But the idea of them thinking they're being tortured or that you're torturing them, I don't agree with that. Trying to find this one question. Somebody asked about clumping, and I can't find it now. I guess it doesn't matter. Okay, I guess it doesn't matter. Somebody asked why their sand bed was clumping. And this goes back to my sand bed videos. That's a great question. It's another reason why I haven't been in favor of sand beds lately, at least thicker ones around 2 inches or more. What happens is you don't have enough turnover in the sand with natural bioload, whether it be gobies or sand sifting snails. There's just not enough. You'd really have to overload, and even that, over the years I've had 2-inch sand beds, and sure enough, after about 3 to 6 months, if I shift around or I reach around inside to move something, I'll see a big clump of sand stuck together, and that's the reason for that. That's why more recently I've opted to go less of a sand bed. You could do a 2-inch sand bed without clumping if you're going to vacuum your sand bed when you do a water change. Just keep it turned over. So that's what I would recommend if you're going to keep a 2-inch sand bed. And if you're not, the clumping isn't bad in itself. It's kind of like a live rock and it will have bacteria on it, but it's not really harmful for the tank. All right, guys. I think that does it for this one. Good to be back behind the camera, reaching out to you guys, educating. So anyway, have a great rest of the night. New viewers, you might as well subscribe, hit the bell, and I'll see you Sunday. Take care now. I felt like I had so many questions to get to tonight because I missed a week, but I think that's going to be it, or the video will get too long. You know how I feel about long videos. Come on, come on. I don't lighting, I don't know. So anyway,